Hey, welcome to Half the Battle.
I've been talking a lot about repaints these past few weeks.
So to cap it all off, we'll be looking at a whole bunch of them today.
We're listing the top 6 best and worst G.I.Joe figure repaints. And we are talking strict recolors here, so Sonya, who started this whole thing off, won't be on the list, since she's got a new head sculpt. This also means that if this list had vehicles on it, the septic tank wouldn't qualify either, since that has new parts.
But I never miss an opportunity to say how much the septic tank sucks.
So I have to at least mention that piece of crap. Even with those restrictions, there's still gonna be a lot of overlap with my old most improved characters and worst later versions lists. The latter being my most popular video ever for reasons that baffle me. I'll try to keep the overlap to a minimum, but it's gonna be hard.
With that said, let's get to the list.
First, some honorable mentions. For the best repaints, an honorable mention goes to all of Night Force. They're all great and all improvements on the original figures. I'm putting them here because otherwise they'd make up almost a whole best list.
And for a similar reason, the honorable mention for worst repaint goes to...
the entire 2003 Toys R Us exclusive Python Patrol set. To call this set gaudy would be an understatement. This is the toy equivalent of having a solid gold toilet, and is as much of an eyesore as that. Oh, and it gets worse when you realize the whole point of Python Patrol was to be invisible to radar, which I don't think this color scheme helps with. It doesn't matter if you're electronically invisible, when one ray of the sun will light you up like the friggin' beacons of Gondor.
With those honorable mentions out of the way, let's start the list proper.
The 6th best recolor is Silver Pat's Grand Slam. 1983's Grand Slam version 2 is on this list for 2 reasons. For one thing, this, along with Tan Grunt, was the very first instance of Hasbro recoloring a figure as a new release, so it's historically significant.
Yeah, they started doing this pretty much straight from day one.
Secondly, this repaint was done for a good reason, namely to make the character more distinct. Grand Slam and Flash looked way too much alike, especially when wearing their helmets, so making one silver was a great way to set them apart. It also helps that the silver looks really nice. The 6th worst repaint is, or rather are, the 1993 and 1994 variants.
At the complete opposite of the toy line's timeline, we find the complete opposite of Grand Slam's recolor.
While Silver Grand Slam was very much a useful change to add character, all these are completely useless. I mean, what's the point of having 3 different snowstorms in slightly different colors? Or Firefly with grey or black paint? They serve no purpose, and I doubt any kid was gonna go, ooh, I hope they bring out Wetsuit again, but with orange this year.
It all seems like it was just blatant padding of the toy line at the time.
The 5th best repaint is Vipra. It seems we simply can't escape the Jinx mold here on this channel.
And honestly, that's not surprising considering how few female body molds that Hasbro had, so they were kinda stuck reusing them.
And boy did they get a lot of mileage out of Jinx. Vipra here is the first time they did, a 1998 Cobra figure and a good way to use the original figure. It's interesting they made this toy a brand new character, in 1998 no less, when everybody else was just old characters, instead of having this be Night Force Jinx, which would have been okay with me too. Still, I'm glad Vipra was new, since there are so few women in the toy line anyway. The 5th worst repaint is Flak Viper version 2.
This is kinda like the previous worst entry.
But at least those were just variations with no real rise or drop in quality. Here though, damn. They had a decent looking figure, and then slathered it with neon orange paint.
Longtime viewers of this channel will know that I'm not a big fan of that.
And that's why this figure gets a special mention. The 4th best repaint is Pathfinder version 2. While I in no way dislike the first Pathfinder figure, this one from 2001 just looks a whole lot better to me. And it makes a pretty good second version.
But the reason it's on the list is because I feel it would have made an even better new character.
With this color scheme and the glasses, this guy looks like a CIA spook on assignment, not like a regular member of the Joe team, and that's how I use it. Though another interpretation could be that this is Night Force Pathfinder, since the figure would fit in perfectly with that group too. The 4th worst repaint is the 1993 Red Ninja. This is an extremely rare figure.
And boy does it suck!
It's a repaint of the 1992 Dice figure, made worse in every way. This pink does not work. And it's made worse because it's called the Red Ninja. I mean, what the hell? I feel sorry for completionists who need this eyesore in their collection.
It's almost an insult.
The third best repaint is the Sub Viper. Yep, the subject of last week's video is back. I don't really need to say much here, as I said it all in the last episode. A huge improvement on the original figure. The third worst repaint is Road Pig version 2.
Look, I might dislike bright orange on toys,
but for vehicles and uniforms, I can at least admit it looks eye-catching for little kids, so I can understand why Hasbro uses it. In this case though, why the hell would they make his skin orange? It doesn't make sense in any way. He's a Sonic fighter?
That doesn't justify this.
A character should only be orange if they're a Ferengi. The second best repaint is Battle Android Trooper version 4. For this 2003 version of the Bat, they gave it a color scheme similar to that of the original, which was an excellent freaking idea considering the mold used the 1991 Bat V2 body, which looked like this. Yeah, no wonder it scores so high on this list.
They kinda had to do this since this figure was part of an online exclusive Troop Builder pack, so it was only targeted at collectors.
For a last bit of confusing trivia, this toy is the fourth version of the Bat, but its official name is Bat version 2. I think Hasbro named that specifically to screw with collectors' heads. The second worst repaint is Interrogator version 2. Another alumni from the worst later versions list. The reason for this figure's inclusion should be obvious. From a normal, intimidating color scheme to whatever the hell this is supposed to be.
I mean bright yellow. Really?
Imagine being taken prisoner and they send this guy to interrogate you. You'd die of laughter before you could die of torture. And the best repaint is the Shock Viper.
The best list isn't just about good-looking figures. It's also about how much of an improvement they are on previous iterations.
And none can be said to be more of an improvement than this. Because this mold was first used for the Ice Cream Soldier. A hideous orange monstrosity with one of the worst code names in G.I.Joe, skid mark notwithstanding. This is how you turn coal into diamonds, people. And the Shock Viper is Hasbro making tasty lemonade out of nasty lemons. Kudos!
And the worst repaint should come as no surprise to anyone since you've seen the thumbnail for this video, and it's the most obvious number one I've ever done.
It's of course the Stinger Driver.
I'm just kidding.
It's the Python Patrol Crimson Guard. Duh! They took the objectively best G.I. Joe figure of all time, yes it is, I will not be taking questions at this time, and turned it into Banana Man over here. It's a freaking insult! And I know I say this every time this figure comes up, but a Crimson Guard should be freaking crimson! And those were the lists. I'm sure I've left a lot out, because Hasbro sure as hell loves recoloring toys. So, if you have your own favorites or least favorites, do let me know in the comments below.
Well, I'll see you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?